Hey Gemini, what's up gang? I hope everybody is well. We're gonna go ahead and do a what would Spirit say to you right now reading. So if Spirit was in front of you, what would it say to you? If that's something that interests you, do stick around. Gemini, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Jessica. Please take a look at my description box. That will have any information that you need to know. And yes, this is a Gemini channel. However, if you vibe, you tribe, so go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Gemini, if you're returning, welcome back. I hope that you're well. Hope you're taking care of yourself. I do hope that you're doing what's best for you. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Gemini, thank you for all the good vibes. It really does mean the world, okay? All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get into this. First of all, I got a couple channeled messages. I do feel like some of you guys are going through some kind of spiritual transformation, awakening. You could even be having like ascension symptoms, okay? So there's a need to drink water, lots and lots of water. I feel like Spirit always wants you to have a water in your hand. If you drink a lot of soda or teas or coffees or beer or something like that, juices, that's all fine and dandy, but there's a need to really drink a lot of water, okay? Stay hydrated is a big thing. Also, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables that bring hydration. So like watermelon or oranges and strawberries. There's things here about like eating these things, juicy fruits or juicy vegetables. I don't know, I'm just getting that for somebody. I also feel like Spirit wants you to get a dream journal. We talk about this from time to time, but it feels like there's something where Spirit is directly going to be speaking to you through your dreams, and it's important that you're paying attention to them, and maybe even remembering certain things that you might not remember as you go through your day and you start to wake up, you know? So there's a need here to just delve into your dreams and trust what they're telling you, all right? I'm also feeling like, as well as hydrating yourself, you should be sweating it out, sweating out the toxins here, the impurities or something. I don't know. I'm getting that energy of allowing yourself to sweat. So maybe working out if you're not working out already, or maybe, working in your garden or around your yard, or doing things that are causing you to sweat. Maybe taking really hot baths or going to a sauna or something like that. But there's an energy here of allowing yourself to sweat out the toxins, okay? Some of you guys could be going through some kind of detox. You could be going through a sugar detox, maybe a social media. Although if you're going through a social media detox, I don't know how you're watching me right now unless you get back and this is the message that you see, okay? But some of you guys could be going through some kind of detox in your life. Maybe, again, there's a cleanse or something. Maybe you're on a juice cleanse or something like that. I also feel like Spirit wants to say to you that you are strongly manifesting right now. It is so important how you're speaking and how you're speaking to yourself, okay? There's a need here to, speak positivity into the water that you're drinking, into the bath that you're about to get on. They're even giving me the energy of like as you're brushing your hair in the morning, okay, or brushing your teeth. Think positive things or speak positivity while you're brushing your hair. There's something about that. Maybe you're working with the law of attraction right now or the law of assumption. Maybe you're doing a lot of manifestation work. You're scripting, you're water manifesting, but there is something here about that where you have a strong ability to manifest at this point in time. So Spirit wants you to be very cognizant of how you're thinking. The attitude of gratitude can go a long way. Because when you're grateful, you're in that energy of being thankful. Spirit wants to connect to that identity that you've created for yourself. So Spirit will bring you more things to be thankful for, to be grateful for. So the attitude of gratitude could be very significant for somebody right now, okay? They also showed me a buffalo in my mind's eye, which brings us to our intuitive messages here. I've used this deck since the last reading, and we have the tree that came out again. That's New Beginnings. It's also ancestors and family ties. And then we have the stormy weather that came out with it, okay? And I saw this buffalo in my mind's eye, and this buffalo was majestic, y'all. It was like, had a sunset behind it. Its fur was blowing in the wind. It just looked so majestic. But buffaloes for me talk about abundance and also talks about endurance, okay? The buffalo has been through so much that it has turned its turned its knowledge into wisdom through experience. And so it knows that storms are a part of life. So when it sees the storm clouds roll in on a distance, it doesn't get scared. It doesn't start fretting or freaking out. It knows that storms are a natural part of life. And, just like anything, it's temporary. So if we can get through the storm, there's going to be peace, abundance, and blessings on the other side. So buffaloes are very strong, and I feel like Spirit would want to say to you that you are very strong as well. And that also, whatever storm you're going through currently, it's just temporary. In fact, it could be medicinal. There could be a storm that you're going through right now that is actually helping you in a way that maybe you can't see at this point in time. That's why, again, it's really important that we reconfigure how we're thinking about things. Instead of saying to ourselves, nothing's going my way right now, we say to ourselves, everything's falling into place, even if it has to fall apart first. Everything's happening for the betterment of my situation. Because the storm energy can sometimes remind me of like the Tower card. And everybody fears the Tower card in tarot because it talks about destruction, talks about chaos, it talks about change, and it talks about crumblings. But it only talks about these things happening to a foundation that's not solid, something that's not serving you any longer. The Tower never comes in a situation that's meant to be in your life or something that's going well, right? So if there are towers or little things that are happening right now, it's like, allow this to happen because this is giving you a clear path to build something up solid. I also feel like for some of you, there could be a lot of internal storms that are happening. I'm getting the energy here, and we picked up on this a lot on this channel, of somebody who's living kind of in two different worlds. You know, you have maybe your spiritual side, right? And then you have your earthly side. Maybe there's a side that you show to everybody during the day, and then there's a side that you kind of have at night, you know, or on the weekends or whatever. But there's a need to kind of have both come together. With this family tree and then the storms, there could be somebody in your life that's almost blocking your path. I don't know if they have ill intentions while they're doing this. I feel like actually they feel like they're helping you, or they feel like they're doing something out of love. Some of you guys might want to travel, change your career, get into a relationship, do something that maybe your family or a family member or somebody, it could be a mentor, it could be a boss, it could be somebody who feels like they govern over you somehow, okay? Even if they really don't, that's how they feel. So they feel like they need to protect you. They need to step in. They need to say something. They need to stop you from ruining your life, Gemini, right? That's how somebody could feel. But I feel like there's a need to kind of confront this person, even if it does bring some kind of storm, because your life is your life and it's meant for you to live it, not for somebody else to dictate and then you to do what they say, okay? So yeah, some of your changes and your choices in life and your direction, your path that you feel called down might not resonate with everybody. Some people might call you a little crazy, but it is what it is, Gemini. You have to do what your heart tells you. You have to follow the voice of Spirit if that's what you feel compelled to do, okay? All right, now we're this is gonna be a very heavy oracle reading. I'm not gonna really pull tarot unless I feel like clarifying something. But let's get into some animal messages. Oh, something was already flipped. Let's get into some animal messages. Spirit, what would you say to Gemini currently? What would you say to Gemini currently if you were sitting in front of them right now? What would you say to them? What would you say to Gemini gang? That's, you know, too many. What would you say to Gemini gang if they were sitting in front of you right now? Okay. Two came out again. Spirit's like, you will respect my authority. Okay, fine. This is what we'll get, okay? We have the hummingbird on the bottom of the deck. You know, stopping to smell the roses, looking at the brighter side of life, but also letting go of the heaviness, right? The hummingbird can't carry a heavy load. It's light. It's aerodynamic, right? And so there's this energy here of you allowing yourself to be free of some of the heavier energies that you're carrying as well, Gemini. We have the butterfly and the starfish that came out. I feel, again, that there's some kind of great transformation that you're going through right now with this butterfly energy, okay? It's like you've been through some kind of dark period, or you're currently going through this dark period, but all is not lost. This is for the cocoon, right? This is for you to transform and grow some kind of wings here so you can take off. The starfish also, to me, talks about recognition. It talks about kind of being highly favored and being recognized just for being who you are, you know, not really having to do too much here. Just kind of allow yourself to walk down your natural path and things are going to work out for you. The starfish also talks about a heavy healing energy for me, because you are able to heal yourself, Gemini. Some of you guys could be healers. You could be being called into the healing arts. That actually reminds me of one of the channel messages I didn't mention. I got a vision when I was, getting into your energy before this reading started. I had a vision of what I'm assuming is a shamanic healer, but they had somebody down on a table and there were like incense and smokes burning around them, and they were shaking a turtle shell rattle, okay, over this person. And I feel like you've been going through some kind of spiritual initiation. That's what I was talking about with the ascension and stuff in the beginning. You've been going through some kind of spiritual initiation or something here, okay? Whether you've been aware of it or not. You've also been highly protected during this time. Some of you guys might not feel like you have because there's been some things that have fallen apart, or you've met some storms. But again, these storms are medicinal. There's something here where you've been protected from something by being removed or being rejected from something. Okay? So just keep that in mind, that rejection is always protection, guys. Or it's redirection, right? So I do feel like you're transforming into this period here where you're going to be getting recognized, or you're going to be feeling more appreciated. You're going to be feeling like things are naturally working out for you. Some of you guys could be having some kind of level up or glow up within your aesthetic, your appearance. Maybe you're working on your body or something. There could be something getting recognized for that, okay? Let's go ahead and read from the book. We're going to do the butterfly first. If I can find that element here. There we go. Oh, nope, that's the firefly. I saw fly and I assumed that that was what it was. All right, butterfly, here we go. Butterfly says, undergoing great change and transformation. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships, or if you love your job, perhaps your career. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is with you. Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon. Committing to one daily routine, a meal, a practice, or prayer, done at the same time in the same place, will do wonders for lifting a butterfly's spirit. When in balance, cheerful, graceful. When out of balance, fragile and frustrated. To bring into balance a daily routine. That's very interesting that daily routine, doing something at the same time in the same place every morning or every day, is being mentioned here, because I was talking about speaking words of affirmation and positivity into your coffee or into your drinks, right? I was talking about doing the workout routine. I was talking about when you're brushing your hair or you're brushing your teeth, speaking positivity. It's like there's something here about Spirit wanting you to cultivate some kind of positive ritual here, or routine. You can call it a ritual or a routine, whatever word you're more comfortable with, right? Sometimes we get caught up on the verbiage, guys, but there is this energy here of allowing yourself to have a positive daily routine, something that you can focus on, something that's going to make you feel stable and connected. And it's also going to decrease the anxiety here, okay? So if you have solid friends, if you have solid activities that you like to do, let those wrap around you like a cocoon, because this is going to give you comfort while you're going through this extreme change that's happening. You could be having a change right now in your relationships. There could be a change in what you want for yourself, what you see for yourself, you know? Maybe before you were very committed to not being committed, right? You were very focused on a certain lifestyle or a certain path that you were heading, and maybe now your heart's taking you in another direction. For some of you guys, maybe you've outgrown a relationship, okay? And you feel like, you know, I don't want to hurt anybody, but at the same time, I'm hurting myself by allowing myself to stay in something where I'm not being authentic, okay? So this could also be in your job. In fact, for the majority of you, I do feel like it actually is your job, because I've been getting that energy for a while of people wanting to break free, wanting to do things that feel more authentic to their own spiritual path. And there could be something here where Spirit's saying, that's okay, you're allowed, I give you permission, but you have to give yourself permission. And you need to be gentle with yourself while you're going through these changes, because the changes that you're experiencing right now are not easy, Gemini, okay? Especially if there's like family, friends, you know, society, people that are kind of navigating and telling you, well, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, or, you know, putting fear in your mind. Because there could have been a big opportunity or chance or choice or change or whatever that maybe you got talked out of because somebody was putting a lot of fear in your mind. Like it could be like, maybe you want to relocate and you want to go somewhere where that person's never been before, but I've heard a lot about it. Oh, you know, those people over there, they're crazy, they're cuckoo. You know, I hear they do this and they do that, and, you know, they don't like outsiders and all this other stuff. And, you know, the cost of living is through the roof, and it's, you know, healthcare, forget about it. Like, I feel like somebody maybe has poisoned your mind or your dream a little bit by putting too much negativity and too much fear on it. That's why we have to be careful about who we go to for comfort, for advice. Are we going to these people for advice because we really do value their opinion, or because deep down we know that they're going to discourage us and our fear is wanting to be discouraged? Our ego is like, yep, told you. That's exactly what I was telling you. This was going to go wrong, and that was going to go wrong, and this was going to happen. Thank God you went to this person who told you exactly what I was telling you, right? So, I don't know, Gemini, there's something about that. The starfish, it says beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is, these creatures have been reliant on how they look, or what other people think of them, for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. We were literally just talking about this. I love it when everything is cohesive. It says, when this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? When in balance, uplifting, artistic, and expressive. When out of balance, gossips and feels empty. To bring into balance, positive friends. It's interesting that both of these cards are talking about friends and the influences around you, okay? Some of you guys might have, this is not for everybody. Maybe this happened to you, or maybe this is what you did, but somebody may have turned away from somebody because they didn't look like the ideal. Maybe they looked different, or maybe they acted different, or maybe they had something that was just a little bit eccentric about them, like maybe their job, or maybe how they were. I don't know, okay? And they went towards something that was a little bit more like, this is what is acceptable, this is what is standard, this is what I'm used to. Even though this other thing was very alluring and it was very exciting to them, they still went in the other direction because they're like, this is safer. I feel like that person might be feeling like that was a mistake now. And maybe they were swayed by outward opinions or advice or something like this, maybe from family. And Spirit could be saying, like, this is a lesson here in following your own heart, right? Your soul knows what it's attracted to, and maybe it does look different than what you're used to, or maybe there are some things about it that don't exactly fit into your life that you've constructed, your safe, comfortable life, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing or that it's going to ruin everything. In fact, it could bring a beautiful sense of color to your life where that was missing, So there's something about that for somebody. But I do feel like, again, there's this energy here of remembering the deeper callings of your soul here. And that's what I feel like is happening with this butterfly energy. There's a huge transformation that's taking place. And there's a need to kind of be gentle with yourself, but understand that some of the superficial or some of the, like, this is what's expected of me is going to have to fall away, okay? All right, Gemini. So let's see. Spirit, if you were talking to Gemini right now, which you technically are, okay? What would you say to Gemini? What would you say to Gemini right now, Spirit? What would you say to Gemini? We have prosperity and abundance. Well, we like to see it, okay? With healing waters on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, as the more that you heal, this fox energy has been following me recently. I've been seeing a lot of foxes for some reason. But anyways, as you heal, you are going to cultivate more abundance for yourself. As you allow yourself to be cleansed, as you allow yourself to grow, it's like you're going to have more abundance. Also, one thing I love about this card is we see the desert in the background, and then we see that finally, refreshing, cool waters have come over us. Again, there's something about that. Hydrating, drinking water, going swimming, being around water, taking baths, showers, okay? Some of you guys taking hot baths or showers. Some of you guys need to take cold baths or maybe do ice plunges or something like that. It's just significant for somebody here. But it's like, finally, we're getting replenished. We're getting refreshed. I feel like some of you, Spirit wants to say to you that a period of abundance is about to begin for you. Maybe you've been feeling like you've been in this drought. You've been in this dry period, which really matches this tree. Because this talks about that it's been barren or it's been stagnant, and now we have some growth that's taking place here. Okay? Which really does kind of echo that financial glow up reading that we did. Something that was not going well or was not going the way that you wanted to, it's about to pop off here, all right? So I feel like you're about to feel refreshed, you're about to feel rejuvenated or replenished, but this also comes from you taking active steps to do that. Some of you guys are afraid to take a break, or you're afraid to step back, or you're afraid to go on vacation, or you're afraid to do something different. do something more creative because you're afraid of the impact it's going to have on what you already got going on. It's giving Four of Pentacles, which is the lack mentality. We cling on to things out of fear, afraid that, this is the last chance we have, or this is the only way that something could work, or if we step away, everything's going to fall, we're going to lose. But really, you need this energy to heal. Something is going to be coming into harvest for you really soon here, Gemini. Or you're already seeing this. You're already seeing that things are coming into harvest. You're already seeing that the choices that you're making, the choices that you have made, are paying off for you. This is really giving King of Pentacles, how he had like the cup of wine in his hand and he had that cake. It's like you can really just indulge in life here, and maybe there's a need to. Yeah, prosperity and abundance is definitely coming your way. Spirit, what else would you say to Gemini gang? We have fire magic. That's that manifestation. This is my Ace of Wands here, but that's also talking about manifestation for me. You are alchemizing right now, literally creating something out of nothing, or creating something based off of whatever materials you were given, and people were expecting you to create this, but instead you've created that, right? It's like some kind of magic that's taking place here. I feel like Spirit would want to say to you that you are very magical. Some of you are natural magicians, and not in the way of like you can pull a rabbit out of your hat. I mean, maybe, but in the way of like you can bend or manipulate situations with your mind. You can speak things into existence. And so with that great power comes a great responsibility and a heavy burden to actually keep your mind clear, keep your energy clear. That could be all that detoxing energy we were talking about, and the keeping yourself hydrated and eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and working out. It's like some of you guys need to have a disciplined body because you need to keep your mind disciplined. So there's something about that. I feel like Spirit wants you to know that the magic is within you and it's coming out of you at all times, whether it's looking like you want it to look or not. Because we don't just manifest good things. And that's something I was talking about the other day in a reading when it comes to faith, right? Faith is just not about the good things that we have faith in. Sometimes we can have faith that everything is going to go to shit. We can have faith that nothing will work out for us. Because this is the internal belief sets that we have, what we've cultivated an identity around, right? So there's an energy here with this of knowing that you're manifesting at all times, guys. You really are. Have you ever had something amazing come in your life and thought to yourself, well, yeah, we'll see how long this lasts. And you've just been expecting and waiting for things to go down or things to turn around, and then it happens and you're like, yep, I knew it. Was that really going to turn out that way, Gemini? Or did it turn out that way because it was like, you manifested it that way? You believed so strongly that things were not going to work out that it was never given a chance to work out, or you never really even put your whole heart into it because you were so sure that it wasn't going to work out anyways, which was actually a self-fulfilled prophecy. So that would be what Spirit would want to say to you, okay, is that you are a very powerful magician. You have a very powerful mind, a very powerful mouth, okay? What you speak, it happens. So if you're speaking negatively on things, or if you're speaking positively on things, it makes a difference. Keep that in mind, guys, okay? Some of you guys, again, there's that ritual here. Because I don't know, it looks a little ritualistic to me, right? And I'm not somebody who's big on rituals. Like I had said in the past reading, doing a closure letter, and writing it down, like writing a letter and getting your emotions out there. Somebody had said in the comments, well, what do I do with the letter afterwards? Do I burn it or whatever? Me personally, I would just rip it up and throw it in the garbage. I'm not one of those people that goes out there burning stuff under the full moon. And that's just not my thing. About as much of a ritual as I am into is like protecting myself with smudging or praying. But there could be a need to get into more rituals here. I say all that to say that I'm not somebody that pushes that very often. So if I'm saying that, it really is coming from Spirit. That's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm almost justifying that and being like, well, maybe there's a need to do a ritual, because that's not me. So, but that's what Spirit is saying. Okay. There might be need to do more rituals, or to spend some time during the day scripting, manifesting, like take time out of your day to do this. Take time out of your day to meditate. Take time out of your day to pray. Take time out of your day to script. Put some water next to your bed that you've already spoken positive affirmations into. Drink it before you go to bed. Drink it when you first wake up in the morning. and think about what you've put in, like what manifestations, what affirmations you've spoken to the water as you're drinking it. That's for somebody, okay? Spirit, what else would you say to Gemini gang? There's something here that Spirit's saying, I can't really, the message isn't exactly clear, but something Spirit is saying here about the daily routines that you have are telling you who you are. It's telling you what life you want to create for yourself. So if your daily routine is to kind of lay in front of the TV all day and eat bonbons, no offense to anybody who loves bonbons, right? It's like, this is what you're telling to yourself that you want to be. But if your routine is to get up, be productive, work on projects, clean your house, work out, eat healthy foods, do some kind of spiritual ritual or connect with the divine every day in some kind of way. Again, even if it's meditation, even if it's just prayer. It's like, this is what you're saying that you want to be. There's something about that. We have affirmation for growth. I love this energy, first of all, okay? I mean, prosperity and abundance, fire magic, and affirmation for growth. I feel like Spirit would want to say to you that you are on the track to growing. You are on the track to abundance and manifestation, to magic, miracles happening in your life. There's something like that, like miraculous things are going to happen. I also feel like Spirit wants you to know it's okay to take a break. I think we already covered that, though. I think we talked about that already. With Spirit wanting you to know, like, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to step back. It's okay to let something grow. Like, you've planted the seed, you know? Like, when you have a plant and you plant a seed, or you know, get a little baby plant, you don't sit there and hover over it every single day, like, you know, constantly watching it and, you know, waiting for it to grow. Like, a watched pot never boils. It's the same with your growth in your life. Like, you just kind of have to trust that you've planted the seeds, trust that you're watering it properly, you're taking care of it, and it's going to grow. I feel like there is going to be some kind of abundance here. Spirit, what would you say to Gemini gang? What would you say to Gemini gang if you were in front of them right now? Let's get a couple out at a time. Let's get one more. Thank you. Look. You cannot even make it up. Bottom of the deck. I almost dropped the deck. Metamorphosis. That's that butterfly energy, guys. Card number 34. Okay? Metamorphosis. Oh, that reminds me. There was another channel message that I got. If you know how they say, like, every 7 years your body literally regenerates itself? Like, all new cells grow and taste buds change and your hair gets renewed, your nails get renewed. Do the math. And if you're at a year where it's been a 7, so like 7, 14, you know, moving up, and this birthday or this year is like one of those where it's like it's 7, you could be going through a lot of changes because of that. Like, everything is literally regenerating itself, which might be why you need to drink some kind of water here, okay? And just chill. We have, first of all, what came out first is we have It's in You. Card number 24. I love that because that's that fire magic, right? It's in you to succeed, guys. It's in you to be abundant. It's in you to manifest. It's in you to grow. So just keep that in mind. We have inner conflict resolution, card number 6. 24 is 6 as well, so 6s could be significant here. I feel like there's something here where, again, you've been going through some kind of inner conflict within yourself about what you want to grow, what you want to transform, what you want to manifest, or how slowly something is going, or the way that you don't connect to things, like certain things anymore, right? Maybe there is some kind of skin that you have shed here recently. So I feel like Spirit would say to you that your power lies within yourself. And this card talks about the Cowardly Lion from the Wizard of Oz. So the Wizard of Oz could be significant for somebody. Also, you could be born in May because emeralds are May's gemstone. But it's giving the energy here of like, the strength, the courage was always in the Cowardly Lion. It was always there. He went seeking it through everything else and everybody else, trying to find it. Oh, I want to be brave. I want to be strong. I want to believe in myself. But really, that was always within him the whole time. And so maybe there's something here that you just need to see that. You need to get on the same page with yourself, says Spirit, and you'll see that something is within you the whole time as well. We also have card number 11, okay? Self-worth, self-love, self-value, and self-respect, okay? Yes, are you respecting yourself? Are you valuing yourself? Are you loving yourself? And this is not about just putting yourself first, but actually doing things that make you feel good, following your own heart, following your own path, standing up for yourself where needed, making sure that you're nourishing yourself with the proper things, making sure that you are drinking your water and you are taking time to relax. You know, if you have some kind of service or some kind of product that you sell, maybe charging a little bit more. You're worth it. If you give quality work, then you're worth it, you know? So there could be something here about putting more value, more respect on your name, Gemini. And then we have card number 26. You are about to shine. Love it. Okay. This is reminding me of the cocoon energy too, which of course takes us to the butterfly. It's that energy here of maybe having held yourself back or been afraid of how people were going to, you know, see you or take something, right? If I make these changes, or if I go in this direction, or if I try something new, right? Or if I take a step back, what's going to happen? It's interesting that both of these cards too have black backgrounds, and this one is talking about needing to find the courage within you, and this one is talking about, you know, allowing yourself to shine. So there could be some fear here, which I feel like these two cards talk about as well, with the inner conflict resolution, and then of course how you're valuing yourself, right? Some of you guys might have had like you might have a lot of core beliefs that have been built into you from your childhood, or from the people that raised you, you know, telling you that this is how things are meant to be done, or you'll never amount to this, or whatever. There's a need to let go of these old narratives, guys. That's what Spirit would say to you. There's a need to let go of the old narratives and allow yourself to step into who you really are. Let your light shine. Let your magic out. It's beautiful. The world deserves to see it, guys. Let's get some tea leaves out here. Spirit, what would you say to Gemini gang right now? Oh, that's way too many, guys. What would you say to Gemini gang currently, Spirit? What would you say? We have the jug that came out. Let's just get some cards out here. What would you say? Oh, we have the broken bridge. What would you say to Gemini gang currently? We have the teapot. Let's get one more. What would you say to Gemini gang currently, Spirit? Okay. I guess two more. Every time I say one more, Spirit's like, all right, so we have the jug that came out first, okay? And the jug talks about dating, social settings. Okay, just one more drink. Lighthearted, carefree time. And again, this is what Spirit could be saying to you. Allow yourself to get out. Allow yourself to have a good time. We also have the broken bridge that came out. Burnt, broken bridge, unable to agree, a freak accident, and unsuccessful outcome to a problem. That is that stormy energy that you're going through right now. We have the teapot, community clubs, gossip, girls, boys trip, deep friendship with somebody of the same sex. There could be a friendship that's breaking apart here, guys, for some of you, okay? Maybe you're finding out that this person was gossiping about you, and, you know, some of you guys could feel kind of sad about this. Maybe you're finding out that somebody went out with somebody that you like as well. That's for somebody. But it does give the energy here of Spirit wanting you to know that anything that's falling apart, it's only so something else can fall together. So Spirit might reveal certain things about people around you, show their toxic ways or their nefarious ways, so that way you can remove yourself. Not that, like, you know, people can't be or need to be perfect to be in your life. That's toxic too, right? Expecting people to never have emotional reactions, expecting people to never mess up or whatever. But it's like when people do things to intentionally hurt you, when they're nasty and manipulative, and they do things to like intentionally hurt you or distract you or take you off path, that is when we need to pull a boundary. But accepting people for who they are, and that, yeah, this person, they're not perfect. I'm not perfect either. That's different, guys, okay? Because that might be some kind of defense mechanism you have as well. Like putting people a little bit up on a pedestal, and so then when they have very human reactions or they act in very human ways, it's like, nope, because you're not perfect, and I only accept perfection in my life, you know, because I'm perfect too, right? So that could be something to keep in mind here, guys, you know? We have the hills that came out, obstacles to overcome, physical training, and working on a group project. And then we have the tortoise. There's no need to rush. A snail's pace, practice makes perfect. And then it says slowly but surely getting ahead. So I feel like what Spirit would say to you is that the obstacles that you're facing right now, you are going to overcome these obstacles, Gemini. Like, you are going to move past a lot of these troubles that you're feeling. And I love the turtle energy. The turtle energy talks about ancient wisdom. It talks about you being at home within yourself. I mean, I know this says tortoise, but you know, hey, tortoise is just a land turtle, right? I feel like biologists would disagree, right? But anyways, there's this energy here of like having an ancient wisdom within yourself, okay? Having had a lot of experience in your life. So there's nothing that you can't overcome. There's also something coming through about somebody writing a book or writing their life experiences, or maybe you make music and, you know, you could be feeling a lack of motivation here with that fire magic. And you could be like, I don't know what to write about, or I don't know what to sing about, or I don't know what to paint or draw. There's something here about, you know, following what's happened in your life. You have a lot of material from your life, you know? So there could be the energy here of maybe telling your life story. You know, I get the energy of like some of you guys have been like to hell and back. You've literally been to rock bottom. Some of you guys have been in horrible accidents, or you've had horrible tragedies happen. Some of you guys have been on the brink of, you know, being unalived, whether it be by your own means or by something else. Some of you guys have had like, I don't know, like crazy things happen. Like you'll just be walking down the street and all of a sudden something horrible and traumatic happens right in front of you. And you got PTSD from that, you know? It's like maybe some of you guys have been to war, or you've been in really tough situations. Some of you guys could have grown up in really broken homes that were like hell. And these things didn't happen just to make you stronger, right? Or just to happen. It's like maybe they happened so that way one day you could tell your story and help somebody else out. Because at the end of the day, Gemini, everybody on this planet is suffering at some point in time. Nobody escapes suffering here. Everybody goes through hard times. Sometimes it's so easy for us to feel like we're alone. Like, oh, we're the only one that feels this way. We're the only one that goes through this. I'm the only one that has a horrible life. Nobody else understands. But that's not the case. So when we have strong warriors and people who stand up and they tell their story, it helps other people. And you could be one of those warriors. You could be somebody who's been through a lot because you're meant to tell your story somehow. Maybe you're meant to have a podcast or something for some of you guys as well. But that is kind of what I'm getting here. Let's get another deck out. Spirit, if you could say anything to Gemini gang, what would you say to them right now? If you could say anything to Gemini gang. We have freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Exactly. You know, these messages are kind of starting to repeat what we've already talked about, so this will probably be the last deck that I use. But that's the energy that I'm getting here. It's like you have the freedom to create your own happiness, to create your own reality here. You know, not letting anybody else tell you what's best for you or what isn't best for you. Yes, we can take people's advice. And yes, again, people can be well-meaning, but that doesn't mean that it's the advice that you're meant to actually live by, you know? So if your mother, your father, your friends, your boss, whatever wants to be like, hey, Gemini, I just want to let you know my experience. This is what happened to me and this is what I think, you know? It's like, okay, I respect that, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to do what is best for me. So Spirit is saying that you're the painter and life is your canvas, basically, okay? That's too many. You're the painter and life is your canvas, so it's up to you what you actually create for yourself. We have gratitude that came out. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. That attitude of gratitude with the law of assumption, the law of attraction here. There are a lot of opportunities that are about to be presented to you, I feel like is what Spirit would say. So get in that energy of gratitude already, like before it even happens. We have blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. So I feel like, again, that goes hand in hand with this freedom energy. Because sometimes we'll let other people take the reins in our life and we'll be yes men or yes women for other people. Because then when everything goes to hell or it doesn't happen in a positive way or whatever, the outcome isn't desirable, then we can go, well, I'm not the one that made that decision anyway, or this person kind of pushed me into this. See, this is your fault. But actually, you're the one that's in charge. You chose to listen to that guidance, or you chose to let other people take control. You have to accept the responsibility for your own well-being, and you have to take the control, the reins back of your own life. And believe in yourself and know that even if something does fail or doesn't work out the way that you want it to, that there's really no such thing as failure. It's only a learning experience. And also, failure doesn't mean the end. Okay? Failure doesn't mean that you are a failure. What else do we have here? We have trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. And then we have purpose. I know what I am here to do on the bottom of the deck, guys. And that's exactly that energy. You know, trusting that your intuition will always guide you correctly because your soul knows what it wants to do. Some of you guys are like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? A spirit is saying to go back to your childhood. What did you want to do when you were a child? What were you most passionate about? You know, did you like to sing? Did you like to dance? Did you like to draw? Did you like to make people laugh? Did you like to cook, make mud pies out in the backyard? You know? Maybe you like to do hair and makeup. Maybe you like to play with cars and, you know, I don't know. There's something here about that. Like, what were your passions and your desires when you were young? Because oftentimes we have our purpose already embedded within us. It gets kind of beat down and stifled away as we grow. You know? So some of you guys got into something when you were a child and you were into it. You're like, I love this. I love doing this. But then people came in, told you that wasn't realistic. Your parents told you that's not what's expected of you. You're going to go here and you're going to do this, right? Bills happen, responsibilities happen, adulthood happened, and somehow the dream faded away and it didn't feel realistic anymore. But Spirit is saying, you know in your heart what you're meant to do, and you have the freedom to actually create that experience that your inner child wanted to have a long time ago, okay? All right, guys, that has been your reading, okay? I do hope that it helps. I hope it resonates. I hope it did something, and I will definitely see you guys on the next one. Bye.